Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. If you've been following this journey, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe so that you do not miss future videos. Also, please click the like button to help grow this channel and get the word out on dividend growth investing. Getting paid just for owning stocks. This is what dividend growth investing is all about. My main objective is to show a replicable way of building an ever-growing and reliable income stream, one that does not have to rely on the volatility of the stock market. You simply own shares of successful companies and you're automatically paid. In this video, I'm going to show you the dividends that I received for the month of July. I just received my last two dividends of the month, so I'm able to do this video. Just to let you know, I'm a buy and hold investor and I buy more shares every week. I also do 2 other videos per week where on the first part of the week I let M1 do the picking based on my allocations, and then on either a Thursday or Friday I will do the picking and pick 5 stocks, and I put $20 into each of those. So what we're looking at right now, this is my taxable M1 stock brokerage account, my Average Joe Dividends account. We can see the balance right now is at $253,586.92, and this is live, so this will be changing as I do this video. We can see over the last month the high point was July 16th at 257, and we see some low points here at 249. So we've been below the 250 mark and we're just above it. We went above with the 250 mark at 255 and we dropped down just a little bit today, 253. So next what we're going to do is I'm going to jump into the activity log, and the reason I do these videos too is to show proof of actually receiving these dividends. So we're going to go in here and we're going to filter this by activity type, dividends only. We're going to go over these one by one so you actually see this money hitting my account and not just a spreadsheet and me just telling you I'm receiving these dividends. Here is the proof right here, and we'll just read these off one by one. And SCHD just coming right out of the gate was the largest one of the month, and usually SCHD pays this dividend in the end of June, but this one spilled over into July. So you can see the amount there from SCHD, very popular ETF in the dividend community, $958.20. That was quite a surprise. It paid more than I thought with a 82-cent per share dividend, so I was able to reap that amount, $958.20. Next up, ADP, also on the first at $3.88. Then Coca-Cola paid $10.57, and Allstate to round out on July 1st payers $5.75. Then on the second, Kimberly-Clark $12.15, and then HP on the third paid me $6.62, and then on the 8th Merck paid me $9.19, and then on the 11th Illinois Tool Works $7.81, and then next up Fifth Third Bank on the 15th $17.61. Here's a monthly payer. Also paid in the 15th $12.92, and then Cisco Systems paid me on the 24th $12.35, and then Oracle the day later, 25th, paid me $5.45, and then here's another monthly payer, and on July 31st, BST $4.80.50, and then JP Morgan $7.15. And we're going to talk about these two a little bit more because this morning these dividends were dripped back in the portfolio, and we're going to see what the new dividends are going to be. So JP Morgan is going to pay 3 months from now, and then BST is going to pay at the end of August, and it's going to be more than the $4.80.50. So let's go ahead and we're going to jump over to Doc spreadsheet. I'll leave a link below to this spreadsheet, and you're welcome to use it to track your own dividend stocks, and also just to kind of take a look at my progress as well. Hopefully it's inspirational to you guys. That's why I do these videos, and hopefully someone will see this who is a younger version of me and take this and run with it and actually exceed what I'm doing. I hope you guys actually do better than I do as far as net worth and income as well. So we can see with this sheet, it shows the company ticker symbol, the share price, and it's just using a simple Google Finance function to pull that share price. Average shares, you can see right here, is doing a VLOOKUP from the M1 data tab below. We're going to also utilize that and paste in some new data from M1 because I did a drip with BST and JP Morgan. So there were shares added, and the shares that's also utilizing a VLOOKUP, so I don't have to type those in every time. You can see the market value of each position, my cost basis. Here's the gain or loss in dollars. Here's the gain or loss expressed in percentages. Anything above, I think 10% is in the green. And you can see, Verizon, not quite 10%. And then you have Starbucks, which is below the line at a loss, and it's in the red. Here's the quarterly dividends per share for each position. SCHD is quarterly, but it is variable, so I put that in purple, and I have my two monthly pairs, O Realty and BST. Remember, there's that BST dividend right there. And then we see the dividends per share. We're covering that. And then the yield percentage, and here's the yield on my cost. And then here's the pay date. Here are my July pairs. Remember, I read those out. And then we can see the next dividend. You can see how these differ. That's because I'm dripping these dividends right back into positions. So for example, ADP with that small 388 it paid me, I dripped that back into ADP. So in October, it's going to pay me 391. And we'll do a quick tally, count up of all the dividends that were paid to me. And this is just from my average Joe dividends portfolio. This is about 15% of my total net worth. I have other dividends and other sources like an IRA, 401k, and I have a taxable brokerage account with a Vanguard as well. But this is the one I kind of highlight more because it's more interesting with the individual positions. I doubt you guys would probably watch this as closely if I just had SCHD and did a video every 3 months. But I also like to own individual positions as well. But we can see the sum for the month of July was $1,550.16. I just simply own these shares, woke up in the morning, and on these dates received these amounts. And of course, I'm dripping those back in. You can see all of these amounts have been dripped in, and you can see the results. But JP Morgan, and BST, those have not yet been updated. So we're going to see what the new dividends are going to be for JP Morgan and BST. And I'll grab some data here from M1 and we'll post it. We're going to paste this into the Google Docs spreadsheet in just a moment. But if you're curious to see what's in my portfolio, here it is. And I'll leave a link below so you can see what these 52 positions are. You can see my cost basis for the portfolio and the value. Of course, the value doesn't include the dividends. I actually have, I'll scroll to the bottom. We can see with the dividends added in what my gain or loss is, over $56,000 there. So again, we're going to see these amounts change actually for the next dividend for JP Morgan and BST. We're also going to see my monthly cash flow average change. I'm pretty confident we're going to go over the $1,000 mark on monthly cash flow average, and we're going to get the annual at over $12,000 too as well. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that data. We're going to start with the name column and scroll all the way down. And essentially what it's doing is it's just going to grab the data of the shares, the amount of shares I have, and the average price I've paid in my cost basis. It's going to update over here on the M1 data tab, and I paste it right here in A1 values only, and it's going to update the shares, cost, and average for JP Morgan and BST. You can see SCHD is the largest position. It did not update it, so everything remained the same there, but we're going to see some changes over here in the dividend portfolio tab. So we'll scroll down and we're going to see The first change is going to be to JP Morgan. Remember, I got the 715 in dividends on July 31st, and the next dividend at the end of October is going to be $7.19. Didn't really move the needle a whole lot because, well, JP Morgan pays a 2.21% dividend, not a really high one, but 4 cents more, it just keeps going up. And BST here, a much more substantial dividend was put in at the 480.50, and we can see that bought a lot more. Let's go over to the activity log real quick, and I'll show you. Here's the 2 buys. Like JP Morgan, it's just going to be a fractional, so it only bought 0.03 of a share of JP Morgan. But let's take a look at BST. That 480 went a lot further, buying 13.44 shares. So that's why it really moved the needle there. And we can see the next dividend for BST will be 483.87. We can see here, take a look at Verizon. So tomorrow is going to be August 2nd. I'm going to wake up and receive a dividend from Verizon. I can see what that's going to be here real quick. We'll go to my dividend portfolio here, and we'll find Verizon. We'll click on it. We'll see if M1 wants to cooperate. There we go. And then there we go. We're sorted by month, and we can see the dividends earned $57.85 for Verizon. So tomorrow morning, this is going to drip in, and it's going to buy over a share of Verizon. Because right now the current share price is at $41. I'm going to be buying $57.85 more of Verizon, so it's going to be over 67 cents added to this. We'll put that new amount in there. And I have it set for auto drip, so that's just going to automatically happen. I'm going to get that 1+ share, so well, we're almost at 87. It's going to be over 88 shares of Verizon just by dripping that in, and this is going to be, over $58 in the next dividend for Verizon, and that will pay in November. So once these dividends are paid by the companies, they don't just end. It's not over with. They're going to pay every 3 months or every month, depending on which one it is. So everything except for O and BST is every 3 months is when they're going to pay. So I'm just going to keep getting these paychecks so long as that company doesn't cut their dividend or get rid of it. That is a possibility, just to let you know. But one of my rules I have in this portfolio is if the dividend is cut or suspended, that stock will be sold, and I hold to that. So a lot of times though, I'll see if a company is in danger of not making their dividend just by reading news, or I have a feeling about it. I know Walgreens, I owned that a while ago, and I sold it before they cut their dividend. There's some other ones like medical properties. I got rid of them before their dividend cut just by following the news, and I just happened to be right on those. So we can see here's the new monthly cash flow average as well as the quarterly and annual. You can see we're over that $1,000 mark. $998.94 was the old mark. You can see we're over the $3,000 and $12,000 mark. So we're going to take that $1,232 over to the monthly average dividend tracking tab. This is a ledger that just pretty much shows the progress of the portfolio from a cash flow standpoint. 1,002, 1,232. We'll make sure I got that right. Yep, that is correct. And then here is the change. So this is not new money that was put into it. This was not by a deposit. This is just by a dividend drip. I added $3.38 to my monthly income, and this is every month going forward into perpetuity, and just adding that to it. You can see other things that affect my income here, which are deposits, dividend drips, and you can see Union Pacific, they increased their dividend. And I know when sometimes we buy a dividend paying stock, we just assume that the dividend is static and it's not going to change. And most of the positions I have in my portfolio, they increase their dividend year over year. And you can see the month. This is the likely month we're going to see a dividend increase. And we'll see who is next. I think there was just one company that is slated for a dividend increase in August, and that's Illinois Toolworks. So we'll see. Last year they did a 7% dividend increase. We'll see if they increase it by another 7%. And that's just going to kick up my dividend income again. You can see that's what it paid me on the 12th. And then with the dividend drip, it's $7.86, and we'll see in August what it's going to do to that income as well. It'll probably push me over the $8 mark for it. So we can see all these different things that keep on increasing my dividends, and that's why I keep this ledger, just to show the progress. And sometimes regression with SCHD and Q1 lowering their dividend, but they raised it by much more than they cut it in the first quarter. And you can see it went up by $82.59 for my monthly income, where they raised it to 82 cents. But I suspect in September it's going to pull back a little bit, and then December it's going to go up again. So tomorrow, like I said, I'm just going to wake up and I'm going to get a dividend from Verizon, and it's going to be $57 plus. And so what's going to happen is that's going to be a dividend drip. So Verizon dividend drip. We don't know what that's going to be. And once I record that tomorrow, I'll have that, and it'll be plus X number of cents. It's going to be at least 25 cents, probably around there, just for dripping it, not doing anything. This is not from new capital. And you can see how the monthly income just keeps going up and up. When I started doing the ledger, this was back in December 7th, 2022, and I got the idea because SCHD in Q4 2022 raised their dividend. I wanted to show that impact, and it changed my monthly income by $21. So I was in the 700s back then, back in late 2022. And time flies, and I can't believe we just finished up July, but you can see we're at now over the $1,000 mark. I'm going to jump to the Dividend Tracker tab here. I've been doing these videos since January 2021, and we can see the portfolio value, which started at $18,700. And we can see the dividends paid in January, $37.41. Let's just fast forward to the present time, and we are at $253,200. So we've gone down today. The market's closed with my portfolio at $255. This is rounded to the nearest $100, and we've gone down to $253. No dividends yet received for the month of August, but we will be receiving dividends here for Verizon, the $57.85. So I could technically put that in there. And we can see here's the monthly average dividend, and here is how much we've increased that monthly income by $3.38. And month over month, we've already increased it by 0.34%. Here is the annual dividend. So this portfolio is paying over $12,000 now, and it's just going to keep going. Even if I stop putting deposits in, you can see the deposits here. I have not put anything in yet this month. I will tomorrow, though. I'll have a $100 buy, so subscribe so you don't miss that video, and you'll see the 5 stocks that I picked. And we can see here the increase in the annual income by $40.56. So you can see just the trajectory of the dividends going up and over that $1,000 mark. And we'll see, what my plans are with this portfolio. But right now, the way it stands, I think in 2024, right now what I'm doing is I'm depositing $200 per week. And really the portfolio, though, is doing the heavy lifting, because look at these, drip amounts per month. You can see in July, alone 15, 50, 16. And what the power was, I increased my monthly dividend income there just in the month of July by $10.31. That, I think I'm going to let the portfolio do the heavy lifting for me in 2025. And what I mean by that is I may not deposit money into the portfolio. I'll still have updates and just showing you the impact of the dividend drips and the dividend increases. This is still going to go up. My monthly income is going to go up, and of course, the quarterly as well as annual. And I'm going to illustrate that too in the future. And then I think in 2026, I'll start actually pulling some of the dividends back and paying taxes, because we're getting to a point where a tax on $12,000 of income is not nothing. So it's several $1,000s every year. So I'm going to start taking, I think, more and more. So I think like I said, I'll take 25%, and then the year after I'll probably take half out, and then the year after that I'll probably take 75% out, and we'll see where I go from there. But because I want to, in the future, in the very near future, actually start drawing from this and achieving financial independence, where I can actually use this to start paying my expenses. I'm not doing that right now. I'm actually just dripping it right back into the portfolio. So to close out, let's go to the total net worth. And I did some cleanup in this. I had some bonds in my IRA, cleaned it out and just went with VYM, because really I don't intend on selling any shares of anything, and I was missing out on growth and some possible income from VYM with dividends. So, and actually this should change. This still have the old name here. I have to change the VYM as not long-term bonds, so I have to go over here and change. I can do it right now. Glad I caught that. There we go. It's the Vanguard High Dividend Yield ETF. So there was some cleanup I did there. And I also did some cleanup with my 401k as well, where I'd had bonds in there, and now it's just an S&P 500. So I'm looking for more growth in there, because right now I'm just doing a strategy of stocks and cash, and that's the way I want to roll with it. Of course, what I'm doing is not investment advice. I'm just trying to show you what I'm doing here. So this is what else I'm invested in here. Really mostly boring ETFs in here, like total stock market indexes, international, in US in there, and S&P 500. You can see here's the dividend portfolio I was just going over before, the 253 balance. I have some money in M1 savings at 5%. I would check it out. It's pretty good. And here is my kind of my long-term savings if something were to happen. If I were to lose my job, it's a nice safety net for me to have. And here's more short-term spending money here. Here's the value of my home. Liabilities, right now I just have a mortgage. You can see the outstanding balance in that. And here's my total net worth at over 1.6 million. Here's the breakdown between stocks, home equity, and cash in here. And then here's the split up of pre-tax to after-tax. A lot of people, they have their net worth wrapped up into their home equity or in their 401k, and that's quite limiting. If something were to happen, it's hard to access that money. So you can see here I have quite a bit of cash to help me out if something were to happen. And then here's the breakup of US international, very heavy on the US side. So that's all I had to show you guys. Again, here are the total dividends received for the month of July, 1550, 16. Let me know in the comments below what your dividends were. It's not a contest. Even if you had just $1 in dividends, or you could have double what I have, fantastic. I'll be rooting for you either way. So thanks for sticking to the end of this video. And if you got value from this video, please click the like button. Also subscribe so you do not miss tomorrow's video, where I again do my 5 picks. Everyone, thanks again, and everyone take care and have a great day.